Hello, welcome to the Money and Flow podcast where avocado toast and stock meets. Did you know that women and women of color do not talk that much about money? Did you also know that the health and wellness community is a $600 billion business? And did you know that women are not in the forefront of decision making when it comes to health or wealth? We're here to change that. This is the first podcast that focuses on wellness and money. This podcast is targeted for women and people of color. Hello, this is Eugenie George. That is Eugenie, not to be confused with Euphegenia, with the Money and Flow podcast. And today we're going to talk about the two F words that everyone hates. That's right, it's feminism and finances. Now, today this podcast is slowly thinking with women in mind. Women are the sole providers for many families. Women also represent half of the workforce, but there are so many statistics that can be written about lack of pay, gender equality, anything that has to do with women not being able to reach their potential. So for the focus of this podcast, it is meant to empower you and make you think about how you can create a mini movement, be it at your job, in your home. We want you to think about feminism in a very unorthodox way, and it is about handling your finances. So that is really where you can create true equality. So let's talk about feminism. Now, the most interesting thing is, as much as I love Beyonce and I love Adichie, I will say that most people, when they hear the word feminism, it really makes people cringe. I don't know, but people did not like feminism when it first started. But the true idea of feminism means that women are equal and they should be able to and can achieve the same economic, political, personal treatment. So a true feminist, doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman or someone else that identifies with their sexuality or preference. I'm really trying to be PC here. It is someone who believes that women can and deserves equal rights as a man. Okay. So I started doing some research, and even with this movement where people are standing out, they have just done a recent study and they said that actually only 33% of millennials identify as feminists. Now, I know that sounds really crazy because most women want equal pay and they want equality, but the statistic that says that most people identify with feminism is really, really small. Now, when I started thinking about that, I was really frustrated. And then I realized that when I look back in my own life, I don't think I ever said that I was a feminist. And I don't think, unfortunately, a lot of people really think about themselves as feminists. And it's weird how we separate them. So I'm going to tell you about this weird time. So when I was in college, I went to UC Berkeley, and I could not stand feminists and what I thought was their agenda, and that's in air quotes. For me, I thought that feminism wasn't an option. And the reason why I did not like being or wanted to be a feminist, and you might relate to this, was I thought that there was only two types of women that were considered to be feminists. One, there was someone that was incredibly radical, which I didn't think at the time I was. Or two, someone that was considered to have a lot of privilege. The first person that I ever knew who was a feminist, we called her Black Hippie. Never knew her full real name, but she was in some of my classes, and my friend, and I'm just going to say her name is Jen Chang, but my friend Jen and I used to call her Black Hippie, and she was a very outspoken, radical, Black, Jewish, and she was a queer woman. So she was always, in my mind, in your face type of girl. And anytime there was an issue, she would just throw out this card like, is it because I'm a Black woman? you wouldn't know what I'm telling you if I was a Jewish woman. As a lesbian, and these were just so many different ways that she said it. So every day, Jen and I would dread to go in our sociology class because the dynamics would look something like this. There would be some sociology uh, teacher that would talk about something that was informative, and then there would be some white guy that would wear like Patagonia or REI or not wearing these shoes, and they would say how they felt in a situation. And then soon as when they said something that was of the opposition, Black Hippie would just come in blazing saddles and just have like a really didn't try to meet that person where they were. I now as an adult understand where she was coming from, but at that time I had no clue what she was doing. So Jen and I would get really frustrated and we'd go to Denny's and we'd just talk shit. That's all we would do. We'd just talk a bunch of trash because we weren't aware of what she was saying. And I mean, being ostracized and not being valued is very real and it should be taken seriously. But at that time, I was like, look, I'm not yelling. I'm just trying to get a degree. I don't have time for this. It was really interesting because not only did Black Hippie have this crazy uh, story and can use every card, and I don't want to say Trump card, but Black Hippie was also a liberal, a limousine liberal, which basically means if you're a limousine liberal, that means you have money and the freedom to say how you feel. There's a whole bunch of other things, but if you're a limousine liberal, you can think of Angelina Jolie with someone that has a lot of money, but and it really wants to help out communities, so they make a lot of vocal political claims just to get their point across. So when we found out that Black Hippie was not only a militant person, but she also came from wealth, she told us that she had a trust fund, and that was kind of like the I'm done with feminism as a whole. I thought that if you were a feminist, you had to have money, or if you were a feminist, you had to be angry. So I really just put myself in the back burner, and it's really sad because I know that there are a lot of women that feel that way. They don't want to. Yeah, they don't want to identify as being a feminist. And unfortunately, that's actually the only time that you will really hear and see people talking about feminism. So I knew that I wasn't the only person that was dealing with this. And also, there are tons of women that don't deal with feminism. But I just want to let you know that feminism, it is purely a financial thing, y'all. Like, money is a tricky topic. Equality is a very tricky topic, and the truth is that for all people, money is emotional. Money hits a lot of nerves and it makes people feel very uncomfortable. There's actually even a financial therapy for money. It's real. And if we don't talk about it and we don't talk about how our finances really affect our health, how it affects our wealth, how it affects our careers, money affects everything. So if we're not thinking about being feminist, we're not thinking about manifesting or planning. I like to say manifesting because this is a new word that I'm learning, um, being magical right here. But yeah, it is a pure financial thing. So if we really break down feminism, it is the ability to be equal. If we don't feel equal, then we won't make equal pay. A guy can tell you that he thinks that you're equal, but if you don't personally feel that way, if women don't feel that way, they are not making the correct changes, or they're not considering themselves as a true feminist, okay? Now, I was thinking about, okay, I know I'm not the only person that feels this way, but I also know that there are tons of excuses that people have in terms of feeling like they don't have, they can't be a financial feminist, also thinking that there are certain rules for men and women, and we know that that just simply isn't true, right? So Money Magazine came up with a couple of mindset shifts that we need to have in order to think of ourselves as financial feminists, okay? So I want to keep in mind that these rules were not just asked by men, they were also by women. And sometimes women did grade a little harsher, okay? So that is something that we really, really, really should think about, okay? So, number one, women can't work harder than men. I mean, we know that that's not true, but even if we ask like a pretty basic bias question, people don't believe that. Number two, children change women and they leave the workforce. Now, we know that women, quote unquote, in air quotes, leave the workforce, but a lot of times they leave the workforce and go for a job that's more flexible. I actually was just talking to someone who is a financial planner for Abacus Wealth, and she was just saying that the if you want your employees to stay, you have to balance around their lifestyle. So staying, if they have kids, people have to change the way they think about childhood. Okay, it's a person, but people don't completely change who they are. They don't change who their work ethics are. Okay. Number three, men just ask for more money, and for some people, specifically African Americans, women, we are surpassing men when it comes to education. Number five, men pick higher paying careers. Y'all know that's not true. That is not true. Okay. And the other thing, which really bothers me, and it might bother you, but it's just 5 cents. What's the big deal? Or it's just 30 cents. What's the big deal? We know how compound interest works. We know how health works. Okay. You can go to a therapist, and the therapist could be $50 or it can be $45. Which one are you going to choose? The one that has 45. What I'm saying is, we know that change does make a difference. Okay. And we also know that, here's the thing, 40% of women are primary breadwinners. That means that there are a lot of single mothers that are out there that are making their own money. So we cannot say that what's the big deal if it's just 5 cents, you know? So let's really talk about financial feminism. We know that financial feminism is believing that all able-bodied people have the ability to receive equal pay regardless of their race, religion, and orientation. We've taken some huge leaps to equal pay, but I think it's really important for us to understand that, you know, a woman earns an average of 80% for every dollar a man makes. If it's you're African American, if you're Latino, if you're Asian, it's worse, much lower. But we need to think about that. There are some companies like Pinterest and SAP that are very vocal about their equal pay. Okay, the Institute for Women's Policy and Research released a 2017 study that stated that poverty would be cut in half if women received equal pay. So this is the first step to pushing or closing the gaps, okay? It's even closer if you just say, hey, my name is Jessica, my name is Isabella, my name is Tynesha, like whoever you are, you need to say like, hey, I'm a financial feminist. I believe that everybody should have equal pay. I am a feminist. You need to start saying that. You need to start looking at it in the mirror, okay? Say it with me. I am Eugene, and I believe that all women should be paid equally, just as much as a man. I deserve equal pay. Or, you know, as Riri would say, I'm not going to say the curse word because I've already probably cursed on this one, but, you know, B better have my money, okay? Y'all better have my money. You know what I'm saying? So there are some small financial steps that we can take to take charge of our financial feminism. And I call this making your real money moves, okay? So these are like real steps that can help you activate your money. These are steps that I have used. These are steps that multiple people have used. And these are also steps that most money experts will tell you, but for some reason they break them all up into different pieces, and we can definitely break down pieces for activating your money. But I think we should just do a quick overview, and I think this is a great way to launch your financial feminism, whether you're a man or a woman. Okay. Number one, find your BFFs, your financial BFFs. I also say that for wellness as well. Okay. Having a financial BFF or a wellness BFF, you know that all boss babes have financial best friends. Do you have a house? Do you have a business? Do you have a job? I know you can answer yes to all of those, okay? So if you can, you might want to get a lawyer, okay? I know that sometimes lawyers get bad reps, but that could be your first financial best friend, having a lawyer. Another thing, another financial best friend that you can think about is an accountant. Y'all know that accountants are gangsters, okay? They're the ones that are hustling and making sure that you're getting free money, okay? Tax write-offs. Really think about who your financial best friends are. The same goes with for wellness. One of my close friends, Amy, is my wellness friend. Anytime that I am stressed out and I want to talk about yoga, that's a person I talk to. I go straight to her. That's a source that I need to go to when I know I'm going to clear my mind. Plus, she's in crazy amazing shape. So I also talk to her about that as well. Okay. So, number one, find your financial BFFs. I also say find your wellness BFFs because mental health is very, very essential. Okay. Number two, hold a forgiveness party. Okay. I know what you're probably thinking. Eugene, I don't know what you're talking about. I understand because this is probably one of the woo woo requests. Unless you live in California, which is where I was from, there aren't that many people that are going to have a forgiveness party. Most people don't even know what the heck that is. Okay. I'd probably say 95% don't know what the heck a forgiveness party is. But I'm going to tell you what it is. Okay. Here's the thing, as women, we are taught as to hold our emotions in, and for men too. A lot of men aren't told to everyone said suck it up, okay? Always smile, always be nice. All of those emotions are translated into money. This is very fake, okay? We have money stories from our mothers, from our fathers, from our ancestors, okay? I'm from New Orleans. I definitely have a slave I have probably a money mindset from slavery, which is crazy because you're like, what? That was so long ago. But it was only it's only 6 generations from now. Okay. So having that, knowing about your money story, knowing about why we hold in our emotions, this is like the first step. What you can do is you can write out your money story. Okay. Who actually influenced you with money? Who actually influenced you with wellness? 1, are you crushing it? 2, are you constantly having you put a fake financial smile on? These are the questions that you have to ask yourself. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people don't want to go through it on their own, okay? That makes perfect sense. This is where a forgiveness party takes place. Forgiveness party is where you and your friends write down your money story and you burn the story, okay? For those of you that are unaware of money stories, it's just one where one writes down their past. Now, what I love about money stories is that they have so many different prompts. It's just like English. It's just like second grade when you have to write your journal prompt. My personal favorite is, if money was your lover, would you still be dating them? All right. I know personally that if I looked at my money right now, specifically when it comes to my business, not my like personal life, but when it comes to my business, right now I'm treating my money like a side piece, okay? Like, I am not treating my business like a beautiful person, a beautiful money baby that it is, okay? Some of it's I'm planning and some of it's overly rushed. And I wouldn't rush my partner. I wouldn't rush my boyfriend. I wouldn't rush my mom. The thing is that that's what you should think about when you have that forgiveness party, okay? Write down those thoughts, write down the money habits. If you want to do it by yourself, that's fine. But there's something to be said about being vulnerable about your money and being open about it. Now, here's the thing. I'm an ENTJ. Some of you guys are probably ENTJs or anything with an NT when it comes to your Myers-Briggs. Some of you might not believe that, but I'm an ENTJ female, which means it's all about systems and processes. However, I do know that being overly woo-woo does help, okay? It's funny that my partner's kids are always like, oh my gosh, here she is meditating, but I know that there's scientific evidence behind that, so I'm going to do it. Same goes for burning letters or having a forgiveness party, okay? So, number 3, Here's what you got to do. Write out that job reflection, okay? Updating your resume is great. Writing a job reflection is even better. It doesn't matter if you're a business owner or a server, you acquire skills every single day. It could be in conflict management or coding. Sometimes we often forget the simple things as learning how to send an autoresponder via email or learning how to meal prep, okay? That is an organization skill, y'all. You know, whenever I do meal prep, it takes a lot of YouTube videos to even get half of the stuff done. It is a process. But I can honestly say if I wanted to do a meal prep meetup, I could do that because it's an organization skill, all right? Write down the list of things that you've learned either on the Google Doc or a piece of paper that will help you understand that your skills are valuable, okay? And financially, your skills are valuable. You have valuable skills that you should celebrate, and you should be paid for them too. So have a coffee date with a recruiter. Ask around, ask recruiters that you know that have kind of the same job or works with the same type of person that's in your field. Okay, you should probably find out what skills have they acquired, and you might understand like what and uncover what people get paid for or paid to do at your job or at other companies. Okay. Number 4, money book club. Okay. Everyone has regular book clubs. As much as I love the Notebook, I think that having a money book club is very, very beneficial. I actually hosted one a couple months ago, and it was all on The Broken Beautiful Life by Stephanie O'Connell. And I taught the workshop with a bunch of teachers or former teachers, and let me tell you, it is very, very eye-opening to see how people view money, and being in a group is very, very effective. Okay, so try to set up a money book club, or if you're already in a book club, just suggest a money book instead of a fiction book. Number 5, understand your financial ladder. Okay, if you are sick, you go to the doctor. If you're in a car accident, you call your insurance agency. Why don't you look at your money the same way? Okay? If you're feeling stuck on that financial train, you have to actually look at that ladder. There are so many different ways to seek help and guidance when it comes to money, specifically when it comes to trying to be a financial feminist. You need to get paid more. You need to be paid equally. This is something that's really, really important. There are financial coaches, financial advisors, certified financial planners. It doesn't matter. They all are financial cheerleaders. And I'm going to break down a couple of them to help you understand. Most of them are certified, but some are not. But let me help you break down your financial ladder, okay? So for starters, financial coaches are great people, and I myself am a financial coach, but what they do is they look at the systems and habits when it comes to budgeting and analyzing those budgets, okay? Yeah, cash flow. That is what most financial coaches do. Yes, they do mindset work, but it is more about looking at your habits and systems, okay? Financial advisors. Some people are like, what's the difference between a financial coach and a financial advisor? It is huge, is really, really different. A lot of financial advisors do take their series 67, 65, 88. I'm just kidding. But a lot of financial advisors have to take tests to sell insurance, to talk about retirement. Those are financial advisors. Some of them are in banks, some of them are with New York Life. It's all meant to help people, okay? But you do have to be wary for only working with just one financial advisor, because they may or may not look at your whole financial landscape. And this is where we come to the last one, which is the last financial ladder, which is the CFP. Y'all know I like the CFP because, one, I'm studying for it. I don't know how many times I have to take a test, pass a test, fail a test. You know what I'm saying. But a CFP, a certified financial planner, is a fiduciary. Okay. There's only a very, very small percentage of people that are doing it, specifically if you're a person of color. If you're Latino, I think there's only 4% of blacks and Latinos. They had to put it together, y'all. But let me explain it to you. A certified financial planner is swore under oath to look after the client's best interests. Okay. So, like a lawyer, lawyers have the board, whatever state they're in. A CFP must take a financial test with a board. A CFP has to have the ability to look at habits and systems, just like the financial coach. Also, they could offer services like what some financial advisors do, but they're more about making recommendations and being with you longer term. Okay. So those are kind of the ladder when it comes to understanding your worth, understanding your payment. And I guarantee you, if you're with one of these, it doesn't matter if you're with a CFP or with a financial coach. If you're actually looking at your money, you could become a financial feminist. Okay. If you're looking at it, even if it's not even the best right now, you're going to make it. Okay. Hey, that was our first episode. Hope you liked it. Just want to let you know that you can talk to us, chat with us on the Money and Flow podcast Instagram page. That's Money and Flow podcast on Instagram. If you want to have a message, you want to DM me, catch me down in the DMs, you can also find the Facebook group, which is the Money and Flow Facebook group. All right. Or here's the other kicker. All right. You want to talk to me via email like it's $19.99. You can do that too. And you can contact me at the Money and Flow podcast at gmail.com. Now, it was a pleasure talking to you. It was a pleasure listening or pretending that I'm with you. And I hope you have a great, great day. Make sure you check out the other podcasts that we have released. And just to let you know, we shoot our podcast these bi-monthly. Yeah, and ciao.